Beautiful day for a neighbor. It's a
will be with you, always.
Hey man, y'all sure y'all don't want to like burn one first, man?
Why did you say that name?
You hear about the cable?
What is thy bidding, my master?
Nice guy.
Forever, forever, ever. Forever, forever, ever.
You know what it is.
Yes, sir. What it is?
What it do?
Neighborhood.
Man, hey, let me get some more of them purple hearts in the chat for that
Yes,
fire
sir.
ass intro, man.
Yes, sir. That
What
intro,
it do?
What
It's
it
your
do?
boy Al. It's your Mayne Lavis. We are the main authority. It is another Thursday night, and we in this. Yo, what it do,
What
man?
the Mayne said.
What
What
it
it
do?
is, homie. What
Bruh.
it is, man. Just another week.
Every time I hear that song, man, I get live at 5.
Right. Gots to. If you not, what you doing?
I don't know,
What you
man.
doing?
I really don't know what it is that they doing. What wrong? Like my man just said, wrong with you, man?
Right.
Tell
Wrong
him.
with you.
Tell him, Terrence. Tell him.
Y'all should already know. Y'all should all.
Oh,
already
man.
know. Loving all the purple hearts. Thank you all very much for showing
Big
up and
facts.
being here tonight.
Yeah, man.
We are tonight's entertainment.
Indeed. And we are in here ready to get this thing going, man. It is premiere weekend. We got
Yes, it is.
Shang-Chi popping off.
Yes.
Shang-Chi
yes,
popping
man.
off. And you saw the poll. Poll should still be up there for you. We want to
Yes.
know, are you going to see Shang-Chi in the theaters? What you
Yes.
thinking, man? You going to the theaters to check it out?
I'm definitely gonna go to the theaters and check it out. I'm gonna go Saturday. Got a friend of mine coming up for the Labor Day weekend, and
Nice.
we have not been to an MCU movie since he's moved. That's been going on 2.5 years.
That's what's up,
So
man.
we're gonna go like old times and enjoy Shang-Chi.
That's nice,
Oh.
man. That's what's up.
Sure.
It's good.
Yes.
It's good that you know people are finally able to get back and kind of do some normal stuff. I know situation out there is still kind of serious, but knowing people are getting out there. We went to my daughter's volleyball game this evening, man. It was cool.
Okay.
You can tell, man. Like everybody you can tell people been locked up for a minute.
Oh
Even the referee, bruh. This referee is an eighth grade B team volleyball game. And my man is out there stopping the game to tell people to take their barrettes out their hair and like making sure that when the girls sub in, they standing directly on the line when they sub in. I'm like, bruh,
No, man.
you trying to stretch this out. You obviously been in the house way too long,
Right.
bruh. Way
This game
too
is
long.
over. I got to go back inside. No.
Exactly. I'm
Stay
like,
on the line.
nah, man.
You are 2 millimeters over the line. Step
That
back.
part, bruh. That part. We out there
Back
like, bruh, just let the girls play the game, man. But they got the dub,
Right.
though. That's all that matters. They
That's
got
all
the
that
dub.
matters, man.
Shout out
Yeah.
to the Lady Jags, my little girl, doing her thing out
Doing
there.
her thing.
You know what, man? You know who else was doing their thing this week, though? We
Who's
talked
that?
about Shang-Chi, but man, did you hear about that Matrix trailer, though?
Yes, I did.
Bruh.
Man,
like-
leaking all over the place.
Now, I will admit I have been geeked for this movie since I heard they were doing a Matrix 4. Because the Matrix trilogy was my shit. I know people didn't like the sequels like that, but at least they weren't the Star Wars sequels, right? I don't think they was that bad. Yeah, look, I'm gonna say it. I don't think they were as bad as the sequel trilogy. No.
No,
No.
not even close.
Not even close. Not even close. And from what I'm hearing from this trailer, man, it seems like this movie, I was kind of skeptical. I mean, I'm hyped for it, but that was my point. Is I was kind of skeptical because the stuff I was reading about the movie and production and some of the leaks, I was like, man, I don't know. I just don't know because I was like, wait a minute, there's no Morpheus. You got a young Morpheus in this movie? Like, wait, what? Ain't no Lawrence Fishburne in this joint? I don't get Hugo Weaving back. Like, wait a minute, man. I'm like, hold on. But then I hear about this trailer, bro, and I'm like, well, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
And so Deadline has a little leakage on the trailer. Let me see if we can pull this up so I can kind of tell y'all a little bit about this trailer. It says it begins with Neil Patrick Harris talking to Keanu Reeves' Neo. In a near future San Francisco, it appears that Neo is trapped in a humdrum world, much like his first self in the 1999 movie. He's just not getting his surroundings. Am I crazy? Asked Neo. We don't use that word in here, says Harris's therapist. Reeves comes into contact with Carrie Ann Moss's Trinity in a cafe. Have we met? She asked Neo. Interesting. Says a shot of blue pill spilling into a sink as Jefferson's Airplane's White Rabbit song plays. I like the way they did that. And then a shot of Neo distorting into an old man in the mirror. A younger Morpheus tells Neo, time to fly, handing him a red pill. then a lot of jumping, a lot of twists in midair, karate, and all the acrobats we expect from a Matrix movie. Man, okay.
It sounds like it's picking up almost right where we left off,
Yeah, it does, right?
and with a little bit of ambiguity.
Yeah,
thrown
just a
in
little
there,
bit,
too.
just a little bit. But I'm thinking,
Yeah,
they said, it's called what? Matrix Resurrections, I think is what
Matrix
it is.
Resurrections.
Yeah,
yes.
man. So apparently we gonna get Neo and Trinity kind of reincarnated back in the Matrix once again, which
Yes.
to me confirms in some ways my Matrix within a Matrix theory. Not totally,
Right.
but it's
I see.
like I'm like I think we gonna find out that the Matrix wasn't all that we thought it was cracked up to be the beginning.
Right.
Because I'm curious to see how they're gonna play this out. But it
Yeah.
sounds interesting to me, the angle they're taking with it, with Neo and Trinity kind of having to rediscover each other. And it makes me wonder if this time around she will be the heroine
Oh,
in this
okay.
one. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it ends up being Neo that has to get Trinity up to speed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That would be dope. I think that would be a dope look. I think it would be a cool twist for the movie. But what you think, man?
I heard a little bit more. So in tandem with that first scene with him being in with Neil Patrick Harris,
Mm-hmm.
apparently he's his medication in that is also blue pills.
Yes.
So what's got me wondering is if they still decided to keep that Matrix online game canon,
Mm-hmm.
and if the explainer on how Neo's character has kind of came back and was able to grow old essentially is because they were actually able to go around and collect all those little white orb of light that was around the game, and then perhaps maybe they'll explain that or not. Otherwise, I guess for me the best kind of way to kind of explain that is to say that it's like a reincarnation, like the Matrix was
Right.
recreated, and because his personality, Neo, was essentially a program,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say Trinity was most likely created also to balance that program, to
Right.
drive him. You could essentially say that the consciousness of Neo in the Matrix is actually free roaming, meaning
Yeah.
most consciousnesses in the Matrix have a body outside in the real world.
Okay.
I feel as if perhaps they may explain that that Neo is a program within the Matrix that gets jacked into a body, which is kind of what they explained throughout the Matrix itself for Neo in the first place. It's like out of all the iterations, the residual self-image is kind of based off of a body that they actually do have, but that would probably be, you could say, essentially as a clone, probably one of the only clones in the real world out of all the real bodies. The whole Morpheus thing with him being younger, essentially, I think they're kind of picking up where they left off in the Revolution. So it's like they
Yeah.
restarted the Matrix. All these different types of people are kind of like reincarnated for that story. But the biggest difference, I would say, is they didn't reveal who the villain was
Yeah.
in this trailer, for what I'm hearing.
Right.
But from some of the plot leaks that I know you and I have traversed over the course of time,
Yes, sir.
it's heavily speculated that it's going to be the Merovingian,
Right.
and that he's going to be the big bad, going out and trying to finish his job on killing the Oracle and trying to take over the Matrix
Right. Right.
and all of that. And all those little karate kick flips and stuff like that is supposed to be some kind of fight scene between him and Morpheus that's reminiscent to the first Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is, from what I'm hearing, is a lot of people are very hype for Neo because Keanu's been training and doing all them John Wick movies.
Yeah, man.
So his fight scenes now are a little bit more realistic. They're a little bit more believable. And with that particular fight scene, it's a good callback to where you see him and Morpheus fighting. But the difference I'm hearing is, instead of Neo being the one getting beat down, Morpheus is the one who fully gets beat down.
Yeah.
Because once he brings Neo back into the real world, reminds him of who he is and all that stuff, my man Neo is like, you have no idea
Yeah, man.
who I am.
I'm saying.
So I think this one's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be one for the books. Sucks that we ain't got the trailer yet. I don't know what they're doing over
Yeah.
at Warner Brothers. They're making us wait for a lot of different trailers. Batman, but it sounds like it's going to be a really good movie. Another one that's going to make me go out to the theaters and check it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will definitely be in the building for the Matrix. I know this. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see how they do the story and kind of how the Merovingian plays into it. I'm really interested to see kind of if they tread back over any of the architect at all. And kind of the way, you know, with the way that ended, and you know, the idea of everybody kind of being given these blue pills. So it's almost like what it sounds like to me is kind of what we saw in the Animatrix when the one episode with the cat that the track star, and how they kind of basically once he started to kind of wake up, if you will, they ended up putting him in the psych ward basically, you know, and then he had tore up his legs because he was able to kind of transcend, but basically came back down to earth, if you will. I wonder if they're gonna play into that with this whole story and kind of do the situation where it's like anybody that opted not to wake up is like basically giving blue pills to stay asleep. And that, and you know, in the Matrix, that's essentially just, oh well, you've got some kind of condition or whatever, and you got to take this medication in order to stay asleep.
Yeah, because they kind of teased that in the Matrix Online game. Remember, they had the 3 different factions. You had the ones who were essentially woke, the ones who chose to stay in the Matrix, and then the ones who were, you would say, essentially neutral, but still kind of wanted to control, just destroy the Matrix still.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I wonder how much of that they're deciding to keep canon. It's been years ago. I guess by now, since it's an online game, it would be easy to track how many people actually played it from where and all that types of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I guess if that number really isn't too high, I didn't play it, but I did look into it because, you know, we were looking over all this Matrix stuff. So, you know, it'd be easy to pick and choose what you would want to keep as canon. And I would say that would most definitely be something that they would throw back in there for the 3 faction type idea. Maybe not play off it completely. And the blue pill idea most definitely makes sense, especially for a character like Neo, because he's always breaking through that wall. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if the actual movie starts off with Neo right away, living a normal life, but having these dreams of something previous, and he goes to the psych and gets those blue pills to keep him from waking up into the Matrix, all the way up until Morpheus comes up and hits him with that pill and says it's time to fly. And but you know, I just kind of wonder like where they're going with that. Of course, Morpheus was still alive at the end of Revolutions, but of course now he's supposed to be younger. So it's just that kind of, like you said, the Matrix within the Matrix thing would kind of make good sense to make sense out of a younger Morpheus. But it would be kind of funny and weird to find out that maybe that first iteration of the Matrix, or those first iterations of the Matrix, were like trash destroyed, and this might be a different kind of iteration of the Matrix under the same premise in order to keep those blue pills under control. But there's an outside old program, the Merovingian,
that remembers and he's like, I feel you.
Because he's outside of the Matrix, essentially where he lives. So they can do whatever they want to the Matrix, but it wouldn't affect him. So it makes best sense for me to see that it's the Merovingian, but I don't know. Are there any other kind of big bads? You think they might throw a new one in there or pick another old one besides him?
Well,
what are you thinking?
The one thing they could do is go the same route. I mean, if they still have the concept of agents, and the agents maybe aren't as aggressive, maybe you still have a situation where you get another agent that wants to bust free the way Neo did. Because again, the whole point of the last trilogy was that in order to facilitate the outcome that they had, the powers of the one essentially had to be split. They had to basically divide it by 2 and give half of it to Agent Smith in order for that whole situation to play out, because they couldn't basically reach their full potential, or Neo's full potential as the one, until right at that right moment in order to facilitate things to happen to get us to this point. So I would feel like then if there's another emergence of an anomaly, whether that's Trinity this time or it's Neo again, then there's got to be an antithesis, because that's the way that they figured out how to make it work without having to destroy shit. And that was kind of the Oracle's example, or the Oracle's answer to that puzzle. Now, saying all that, if the architect feels like if he still feels like what she did was a fluke, then they might have just thrown all that shit out the window because
Right.
you know he was real dismissive of her stumbling upon the solution, if you will, when he gave Neo the little speech at the end of Reloaded, but it kind of ended up proving true. And then at the end of Revolutions, he was like, you played a dangerous game. So is that the rules by which they're going by in this new iteration? Or could it be that the architect has his own plans yet again and, it goes that route? So I can see the architect playing a role. I can see it being another agent emerging or something like that. But I feel like there has to be something else beyond the Merovingian, because I feel like it's going to take a minute before they even like reveal him as a threat, because they're currently in the Matrix and trying to figure out what's going on. Now, it could be that all of the information that we've gotten so far is just about the first third of the movie, because that's when you look at the original movie, it took about a third of the movie before you actually got to the point where you understood what the Matrix was and kind of what Neo and Morpheus and all of them's roles were. So kind of just looking at it from that respect, that first act of the movie could be everything that we've heard about right now.
Right.
And then it could be that from act 2 on, it's all about the Merovingian and what he's trying to do with the Matrix. So we'll see, man. But I would hope that you have a few, because if this reboot is successful, I don't know about you, man, but I don't mind them continuing this.
Oh yeah, most definitely. If it's successful and delivers on a lot of the good points and gives us some of the nostalgia, like if it's a good all around movie,
right?
I would enjoy seeing more of the Matrix, and seeing where they go with it, because like they closed it. You know what I'm saying? So now that they're trying to go back and redo it, it's like, okay, so what direction are you guys trying to go in? What kind of creative freedom do you guys actually have now from Warner Brothers that you didn't have before, that actually kind of warranted you wanting to restart it? Because that was kind of the thing with the Matrix in the first place. There was a whole background theme to the Matrix that had more of a real world like setting, like a real world background to it. And they just facilitated it in the Matrix in a different way that was enjoyable for a high-tech movie.
Right.
So I'm wondering if they're deciding to revisit it because they're in a different air and space now, and possibly can throw those themes a little more prevalently in this movie, or if it's just them wanting to go back and redo it because, of course, I think the Matrix trilogy was a very successful trilogy, and revisiting it would definitely be something that'd be grand and great, especially for nowadays. We got better technology. A lot of them are more trained up now. Despite the fact that Keanu Reeves looks a lot older, I'm hearing Carrie-Anne Moss looks like she hasn't aged a day. And then we got some returning faces, and then we got some new faces. We got Neil Patrick Harris started it off. We got Yahya Abdul-Mateen playing the Morpheus character now. I hear Christina Ricci's in it. They haven't said who she is. We got Brian J. Smith. You're more familiar with him if anybody's ever watched Sense8. He played one of the cops, one of the detectives on there that were one of the 8 that were connected. Now I'm seeing if you go Google it on the cast, they have 2 Christopher Reeves here, okay? And I think the second Christopher Reed that they have here, I'm not familiar with him, is the one that's actually going to be in the film. The other Christopher Reed that they have is your boy from House Party. Kid.
Really?
Now I don't know if he's actually in this movie. It could be a mistake because apparently they share a name. But they both could be in it because you got Christopher Reed and you have Christopher S. Reed. So, but neither one of them have a description on who they're playing. And for a lot of the other people that are going to be in it, it seems like they're new or just background characters that may not drive the story forward. But you get Jada Pinkett back as Niobe.
Yep.
And I don't know if anybody remembers which agent this was, but Daniel Bernhard, Agent Johnson, he was one of the new upgrades.
Yeah, he was. I think he was the first one that popped up when Neo first encountered the upgrades.
Yeah, he was like, oh, upgrades. So most definitely going to continue on with having agents in there, and then of course you get Lambert Wilson back as the Merovingian.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have given certain names and descriptions to certain characters kind of pushes the envelope on who the heroes are, of course, and who the villains will be
Yeah,
It's just how will that story unfold with some of these
that's the question, man. That
turning
is
faces.
definitely the question. I think it bodes well that they brought back so many people.
Yeah.
Particularly, of course, when you bring back Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss, you already like, okay. But, you know, when you get these ancillary characters coming back, you got Agent Johnson coming back, you got Niobe coming back, you know what I'm saying? That really solidifies that they're really taking the effort to try to make this movie pop. And the thing about that is, I'm sure all of them heard, you know, the fallout from those last two movies and are determined, like, and kind of motivated, I say, to come back and kind of do it even bigger and better.
Yeah.
This time around. So especially somebody like a Jada Pinkett Smith, like I feel like she is going to have a much larger role than she did in the last ones. And that's going to give her, you know, the ability to really flex on screen too. So that's going to be a really good look, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm just super curious on where they're going to go and how they're going to play this one off. Is the fact that they're, you know, they didn't try to make Keanu Reeves look any younger.
Right.
You know, they kept him, and just like, so what does that mean? Because we all know he died, and now you see he's like older than he was then. So it's like he reincarnated and able to live out a life to this point again.
Well, see, that's
essentially come back at that age and grow old. Is he really a program? So many questions.
So my thing is, you know, or my theory is, I don't think Neo or Thomas Anderson, I don't know if his human body actually died.
Right.
Like, it may not have died. So they may have rebooted the Matrix and then essentially just plugged his mind back into it, like revived him and plugged him back into it as somebody who doesn't really know. But if that's the case, then that almost leads me to your question, like, okay, so did we disregard the Matrix Online in terms of the canon? Because that they went a whole different direction with Neo and like his residual image in the game. Like, people were trying to go collect that, like you mentioned, in order to kind of remanifest him. So are you just skipping over that, or are you saying this happened all after, as somebody finally collected all of those pieces for him? But if that's the case, then what was his body doing the whole time? Y'all just had it on ice? Like, where, like, because we see them drag it off at the end of the movie, but we don't know where.
Online, that was Morpheus's whole drive.
Yes, he wanted the body back. Right. Exactly.
And they killed him. So now you got Morpheus back, even though he's younger. So it's like, what's the deal with Morpheus?
Exactly. So it makes me wonder, are these archetypes or these roles that these people get, are they pre-programmed by the machines as people are born? And you know, is there, like, not to get too deep, but is there like some gene manipulation going on or something, like, to have these people, you know, kind of resemble in, like, certain of these people, like the One or Trinity or whatever, because they are so much intrinsically linked to the prophecy. Is their residual self-image just constant, as opposed to everybody else's can fluctuate? Or that's the stuff that I'm really interested to see if they answer in the movie. You know what I'm saying? I'd be disappointed, to be honest, if they don't really get into that, because it's like, no, you can't just brush over all of that, because you gave us all those details with all that ancillary content. And yeah, if you want to say the game don't count, cool, but it was shit in the movies that you still gonna have to tie up those loose ends in order for everything to come full circle. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm confident that, you know, it's still gonna go hard. I'm just really curious to see how all of that plays out.
Most def. So Felicity, no Monica Bellucci this time, unfortunately. And Darth Chaos, he said something I was going to bring up. He said, I hope it connects to the young girl, Shiri from, was it?
Yes, Sati. You talking about the from the
Sati,
third?
yes,
Sati,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, some more of the plot leaks that I have heard is that she's older now, and I believe that's being played by Priyanka Chopra.
Okay.
And so essentially, like how you were talking about, you know, Neo or Trinity could be the one. I'm thinking more or less they are going to make her the new One character, alongside Neo, and that's kind of maybe the reason why they sought him out, to bring him back, because she's exhibiting the same kind of aura and things that would say she is the One, because of how they reiterated and remade the Matrix, to where before she was just a rogue program, was on the run, it was going to destroy her. And then they gave her a purpose, in which she was able to control the sky that we
Right.
saw at least,
Right.
and create the sunrise and sunset and all that types of stuff. So I'm hearing a lot of that can play back into she had a little more power than they thought they gave her, and toward the end of that, and
Well, I mean,
more or less,
what she was doing really did, and this was something that I always was kind of hung up on, because what she did at the end of that movie was exactly what Morpheus described in the first movie, because he said when the Matrix was created, there was a man born inside that had the power to change things the way he saw fit.
right?
And essentially, you see that power manifest through Smith, and I always took it as if that part of the power or the function of the one was something that Smith had and Neo didn't, because you never saw Neo really do that, but you saw Smith do it at the end of the movie when they had their final confrontation. So that always made sense to me. And then if she's going, if she's at the end of the movie when they reboot, if now the powers of the one are now with her, then that would make sense why going forward she would be the one. And maybe that was the whole point that they were trying to get to, was to give the power of the one to as an actual program. Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So that would be really interesting to see how they play that, because then you'd have a situation where you could have Neo and Trinity trying to wake her up and trying to get her to understand what her actual purpose and role is. So that would be crazy. That would definitely be crazy.
Right. Well, I tell you right now, they did a good job, at least with the trailer, and even if the leaks coming out, because they didn't really give too much to be like, oh, that's what the movie's about. Then okay, whatever. Now it's like, well, damn, where are they going with this? And I need to learn more about it. I
need more. Yeah, man.
Most def. And I'm going to say one last thing about it. Can we at least get a better game?
Oh,
if we're going to make a game after this movie, because Path of Neo wasn't it. Matrix Online wasn't it. And the closest, best thing they had, I believe, was what? Enter the Matrix?
Enter the Matrix was just...
Enter the Matrix was decent.
It was decent. It was hindered by the technology of its time. It was really...
lightweight agree.
Man,
lightweight.
If you go back, like, that game wasn't that bad. It was just... It was just poorly made. And I think that was a product of the studio, and I think it was also a product of just that game. You didn't have the technology to kind of... Could you imagine them doing a remastered on a PS4 or 5?
Of the Enter the Matrix?
Yes.
Of that, of only that game. Do not remake Path of Neo for nothing.
No, dude, Path of Neo wasn't that bad. It wasn't good, but the ending is what was trash. The ending ending was trash. The ending was pure, unadulterated garbage. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go Google and YouTube the ending of Path of Neo, and that shit is gonna drive you up the wall. It was terrible. As for somebody who actually played that game on hard and like fought my way to get to the end of that, to get to that ending, bruh. Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%.
Even fighting Smith.
That's the whole point.
Just the Smith. Not the whole ending. Not the actual ending, Smith.
Oh, you mean the fight? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because it was all program button combinations. Like, you weren't free-flowing combat. So if they were going to remaster it, I would say they would have to, it would almost not be a remaster. You'd basically be rebuilding the game from the ground up. Because I need more free-form combat. Like, I don't need canned combinations to where I hit a button and Neo throw off like 20 punches. Like, no, I want to be able to control my guy like that, man. So I'm with you, man. But it's just...
Most definitely.
I just don't understand, and we talk about this a lot, man. I don't understand with these video game companies, how they don't figure this out. Like, you see what's popping. You see what people respond to. You got a game, like, not to go on a tangent, but you got a game like Ghost of Tsushima, right? Now, in Hollywood, multiverse started popping off. Everybody doing multiverse movies. Everybody got a connected universe now because of Marvel. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to see the same thing with the multiverse. But video games, you don't really see that as much, man. Like, you don't see if, like, somebody could come out with a dope concept, but no other studio would say, you know what, I'm going to take that concept and build a whole new narrative around that. Right. Like, why is that? Like, I'm saying, you get a game like Ghost, and maybe it is that they try and they just don't execute on the level of, like, those studios. You know, maybe that's what it is. But I just, like, The Matrix, Marvel, Star Wars. One of them, just give me a game where I just get to like build myself up and wreck the shit out of people.
Right.
Like, just give me that where I'm grinding all day. But I'm building to make myself the most ridiculously OP mother that you ever seen. Like, that's what that's what gamers want.
Yes.
You can put a narrative on it, that's cool. But I would gladly give you my $60-$70 if you're gonna tell me for the next 6 months, you're gonna be building the dopest Jedi, the dopest superhero, the dopest villain, the dopest red pill you've ever, like, that's what I want.
Spitting right now. Spitting right
saying,
now.
Man. I'm saying.
It seems like that's going to be a ways off, man, because speaking about video games, you know I'm going. Speaking about video games and speaking about Marvel, we got that Midnight Suns. We got the trailer a few days ago, and we got the gameplay just recently. And the trailer looked dope. The trailer, I would totally have, if it seemed like it was going to play like how I thought it would be. I got strong Ultimate Alliance vibes.
Okay.
Off of that game. I was thinking, okay, I could go for an overhead 4-character thing. Like, I enjoyed playing those games, going around beating people up. Yeah, you got a certain set of combinations, but that was fine. They served their purpose. You get the power levels. You get to actually play the characters. I was down for that. So, when I peeped in to look at this gameplay, I was very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. To me, I don't see the point with people who have high-end video games, video game consoles, people who have high-end PCs, for you to give them a card-based RPG. Why are you going to give me a card-based RPG for a high-end gaming system when I can easily do that on my phone?
Right.
But for me, like, and I might be one of the only ones. I'm pretty sure, like, some people out there like playing these card-based games. You know, the games where you get to pick maybe 4 or 5 characters, and then they meet up with 4 or 5 other background characters, stand there, and then you tap them, and you give them commands, and then you watch your little character go across and hit this guy, or maybe throw him into the next one and have some kind of effect. That's not fun to me. Okay, no. I'd rather be able to have full control over my character, like the homie said, run through, wreck some stuff, get some collections, build up my characters, make them the best they can be. I don't want to have to slot cards and play Magic the Marvel while I'm trying to get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, man.
Like, the cinematics didn't look bad. Like, a lot of the cinematics that they had on there really looked pretty good. But it's like, I don't want to have to just tap X a few times and just stand there, and then I get a cutscene of them moving to the next area, and then I get 4 more characters at a week, and then, and then you get the one big bad boss, but you got certain squares you got to step. I'm not, like, come on, Marvel. Come on, Fire Axis.
I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I don't give a about no cutscenes if your game is trash. Like, I'm not gonna play a game and suffer through trash ass gameplay if you don't, just to see some dope cutscenes. I don't care, because I'm not. That's a movie. I can sit down and watch a movie anytime I want to. I don't want some interactive. Unless we talking Telltale and The Walking Dead.
Right.
If we talking one of them games, that fits for those games, because I know that I'm going in there to get strictly for the narrative. But a game like this Marvel, oh man, you got Midnight Suns. You gonna have to do better than this. I'm not, and then you're gonna have the nerve to probably have somebody drop at least $40 on it. Excuse me.
Oh yeah,
at least 40, and I'm like, nah, bro, it's not gonna happen. What they do, Cap? I see you sneaking in here, you little motherfucker.
Cap. I see him sneaking here too.
See, look, I be checking for Cap. Normally, if I'm looking straight ahead, I don't see him because he under my line of sight. But I keep scoping just to make sure.
Yep. I'm scoping.
What he do,
Y'all
man?
know who I'm looking for. Can't say his name.
Oh man, yeah, I know. We still got an APB out on homie, man. What's going on? What's going on?
We got one, but we're gonna see. But yeah, I mean, I've been looking at some of these articles and stuff that comes out, and apparently they came out on Twitter, and they're saying that they don't have regarding their battle card system, there are no loot boxes or related microtransactions to get more cards, i.e. gamma coils. We will purely have cosmetic character skins for purchase that do not affect the game balance in any way. So on top of you having to build a Marvel deck and get a different assortment of moods that are based off of this Marvel deck, yeah, your characters are fully customizable, but apparently you're only going to get but so many for free, and then you're going to get probably a whole plethora that you can purchase.
Right. And see, this
continue. Like,
look,
why?
And I understand, okay? I understand we live in a capitalist society. I understand that these companies are not in the business of making shit for free. But can we please get over this microtransaction shit, even if it's only for cosmetics? Because I'm not going to fork over $15 just to get a dope suit for the character. Nah, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I already give 2K enough of my money with VC trying to make a character that's respectable enough to go play online. That's enough right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's I ain't got that kind of disposable income, bro. Like I'm just not if that's where it's going, look, then I'm like, I will go. There's plenty of games that have dropped over the years that I can go back and revisit before I mess around and give you money on some bullshit like that. Just can't do it, man. Can't do it.
Definitely. Now I see this. They plan to release the game on Nintendo Switch, PS4, 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, Series XS, and it's supposed to come out March next year. Now, if they just said this game is coming out for Nintendo Switch and or even PC, and left it at that, I probably really wouldn't have no gripes.
Right.
But again, you're gonna put this on a high-end gaming system.
Look, let me tell you something. I just dropped $500 on a PS5, and just this week, another $400 for 2 more terabytes of memory because I done already used up the memory on my damn 5, so I had to buy more memory. That's like I just bought a baby PlayStation. Like I just bought a baby PS5, and this what you gonna give me? I got this turn-based card game for you, player. Man, kick rocks, dog. You better give me something with at least 100 gigs on it, and not Call of Duty. Damn it! I'm like, dude, all this space, all this opportunity. I think what these gaming companies don't realize, or what I feel like they should do, is there needs to be a concerted effort to really market games to the high-end gamer. Like that's what, and yeah, that's a niche market. I get that, but you could still make as much money as you make off of one of these. Now, I'm not going to talk about like a GTA Online or a 2K where you got people just that's going to like people like me. I ain't going to lie, that just line up every year and hand you that $60, knowing it ain't going to be nothing different from the last year. I know you got that, but I'm saying, like, imagine if you had a studio that created top-notch quality games and did so like on a once every 3-4 years kind of basis, but that gave support to that game consistently, like on a ridiculous level, where it was almost like, you know what, we listening to what the streets is saying, and we gonna drop that in updates for y'all. So if you want to be able to do ABC, XYZ, here go the update for it. But the catch to that is you dropping $80 on this game. Sign me up. Like, I'm cool with that, because again, it's not about the dollar amount, it's about the value I extract from it.
Right.
And if it's worth $80, I'm gonna drop $80. But if it's not, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, it's just, if it doesn't resonate with me, I'm just not gonna do it. And that's the thing, man. It's like these studios really need to do a little bit more. I think focus groups or something, or talk to somebody, because it's like, I get that we're in the middle of a situation, so it just slowed a lot of stuff down. I know, that's the reason this memory stick was so damn much. It's because we got shortages on shortages. I get that.
Right.
But if somebody ain't coming out of this pandy with a brand new, renewed, or the new perspective on how to market and what the consumers actually want and how to really appeal, like, because again, I feel like this is a no-brainer, man. Like the subscription-based gaming, how is that not a thing yet? Like, how's that not caught on more than just like a Call of Duty or something like that?
Right.
Like, why do you not have games? Like, somebody needs to. Now, GTA is doing it, but they're doing it more with the online aspect, and that's still kind of laced with microtransactions. But imagine a single player experience where every 2 or 3 months, you were getting new content for $10 to $15 a month, or or a subscription service, where you purchase a one-time game, and then you can either play that thing, that contained experience, and be done, or you can play that experience and then for a certain amount of month get continual updates to give you more stuff to do.
Right. Now, there are 2 games that I could mention that do that, but within those 2 games, it's still limited. So hopefully with the PS5, they'll be able to bust out and give us more of what we want. But the first game I can mention is DC Universe Online.
Okay.
Now, DC Universe Online, you get a character that's fully customizable and personal. So you got your name. They give you a set amount, set powers to choose from.
Okay.
And you build that tree. And it's a role-playing game that is, you can play a lot of it singular, or you can play it with other people in a world, an open world that has Metropolis, Gotham, the Fortress, Batcave. It's a whole and every once in a while they drop DLCs that you can either, if you have a membership, you get that for free, or if you don't, you can purchase them outright and play them as you go.
Yeah.
And it has both features. You can singular, or you can play with other people. And the other game, which I think is completely ironic, that's close to that, is the Avengers. The Avengers game is the very next thing that I could say is fully playable, that is close to what we want, but no cigar.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. You about right. Because my beef with the Avengers game has nothing to do, like, at this point, I honestly feel like the Avengers game now is the game that we should have got when it dropped.
Yes.
And I will give it that, like, straight up. I will give it that. But my issue with that game now is how long it took for us to get there. It's the same problem I had with Fallout 4. Everybody keeps telling me, you got to give Fallout 4 a chance. You got to give not Fallout 4, 76. You got to give Fallout 76 a chance. I got Fallout 4 on the mind because, on a tangent real quick, I heard that there's a rumor about a remaster.
Yeah, I heard that too.
With all the DLC and all the Creation Club content included?
Yeah.
I'd spend another $60 on that shit.
I would too.
I would spend another $60 on it to buy it on PC all over again and mod the shit out of it all over again and play that same damn story all over again.
All over again. Yeah, I revisit that very often.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's why I don't understand how these studios don't realize that. Like, how is somebody not Fallout would be the perfect game to do something like that with. The perfect game to do something like that with. But no, to your point about Avengers, Mayne, Avengers has definitely made strides. I think you can, especially with the update, like playing it on the 5, bruh. Wow. Like, it almost looks like a different game on the 5, but it's just because everything is so clean and polished and it's so smooth that it's like you almost forgive the bad the bad character designs for most of them. Now, Hulk still pisses me off, and I still get mad that Captain America looked more like U.S. Agent than Steve Rogers. But
I like the substitute better. That analogy.
It looks like the substitute meat. He does look like okay, so on PS4, he looked like a substitute teacher. On PS5, he looked more like U.S. Agent.
Okay.
Like, it's like on the 4, he looked like a broke-ass substitute teacher dressing up as Captain America for Halloween. Straight up.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, and now here's a question. Since you're going to bring up Avengers, I always got to find something to nitpick about. Now, I saw they dropped the in-game costumes. They couldn't break bread with them actors and actresses so that they could use their likeness. I couldn't get a Chris Hemsworth Thor, man. I couldn't get a RDJ Tony Stark. Come on, man. Now, Chadwick Boseman, that might have been that might have hit a little too hard. That might have hurt. I can understand that one. But you could have gave me the skin, man. You could have let me, like, get the whole experience. I'm looking at, bro, you know how sick it was trying to look at that damn Thor in the Thor suit from Endgame? I'm like, bro, turn this shit off. Like, you get me started on Avengers, and look what I told you. I was ready to give it a chance. I was like, oh, they got T'Challa, let's go. I was getting in there. I'm like, oh, they got these new costumes, but they want you to pay for it. All right, let me check it out. Let me go look at this costume. Oh, they got the Thor from Endgame. I preview. Hell no.
Right.
That ain't no. That's. I don't even know who this dude is.
I do agree with that. The paying for those types of costumes and stuff, and some of those are ridiculous. Like they dropped that old school Cap costume
Right.
From the first Avengers
Mhm.
at the same time as they dropped the T'Challa update, and I'm not. It's more than the damn T'Challa update was. Like, I'll pay the $10 in order to unlock the timeline, in order to unlock some of the things for T'Challa. Fine with that. Excuse me. Fine with that. I
Mhm.
did that for the other characters. I did it for Hawkeye. I did it for Kate Bishop after playing. I was like, you know what? This is dope for this character. I like the other looks. Fine. It's worth the $10 for that.
Mhm.
But I'm not, like you said, I'm not paying $15 just for a skin for a character that does nothing else other than make him look a little more aesthetically pleasing. And
Right.
it doesn't even fully look all that much more cool playing with the character in these settings.
No.
Not
No.
doing
And that's the thing, man. It's just like, I get it. It's all about trying to make that change. I get it. But you're going to have to do better than that if you're going to get my money, man. I am a 30 years deep in the game gamer, bro. Like, peep the shirt, bro. I've been in this for a minute. Y'all going to have to come correct if you're going to get my money. Unless you are 2K Studios, cuz 2K Studios has brainwashed me and I am anxiously awaiting 2K22 because I need my basketball fix. Don't judge me.
I'm trying not to. But
I'm
it's
just
hard.
saying, man. Look, what am I
It's
supposed
really
to do,
hard.
man? That's the only basketball game they got.
I guess wait till at least like 2026 and see if they give you something else.
Dude, I'm
something
jonesing
more.
for it, man. I'm already ready to play with this new Lakers roster, bro. Like, I want to see like how these 30 and up cats is gonna do.
So whatever happened to back in the day where they used to just send out the upgrades or the
You know what?
yeah,
This
the
gonna be- I'm
updates
gonna
they
be-
gave you the roster. What
I'm
happened?
gonna tell you how petty it is for me and how bad they done got me, because you can do that on the 2K21, but the hairstyles ain't the same.
Oh my!
So I'm like, bro, he don't even got braids no more, dog. Like, I feel they got new uniforms this year, bro. Where the new uniforms at? Like, I wanted the whole nine. I want to be able to look. If it's people in the stands with masks on, I want people in the stands with masks on.
Oh man, he's like, I just want to be able to customize the crowd.
Look,
Okay, shoot.
He brainwashed.
I want the
Bruh.
2000 crowd, the 2010 crowd, the 2021
Bruh, I was
Bandy
trying
crowd.
to tell you, man.
I
Like,
want it all.
I don't know what 2K did to us, bro, but they got a legion of basketball fans out here just forking over money because we ain't got no choice, man. It ain't nothing else out there.
Got no choice, man. It's the worst thing.
It's
man, I
hard,
do.
bro. Like, I mean, like, you gotta understand, man. It's. I love my
I'm
basketball, my hoops games, man. That's the only time that I was ever able to be a star on the court, man. That's the closest I ever get.
Hey, if you see my man's character, it looks exactly
Bruh,
like
like I'm telling you, like Freddie Roy be out there triple doubles like a mug, bruh. Like you don't know, that's my alter ego. Freddie be out there killing the game, bruh.
man.
Oh
Yes,
man.
Al needs personalized NPCs.
Yes, I
for this to
do.
be-
I am that guy. I will spend 3 days designing a stadium from the ground up. I will go download custom jerseys. I'm that dude. Like, I'm serious. Look, let me tell you, because if I'm going to spend $60 a year, I'm going to get every penny out that $60. I'm going to play that shit till the wheels fall off, man. Like,
That's
I'm going
how
to
I
know
feel about the
everything.
PlayStation Plus. I'm paying 60 some odd bucks for that a year. I am getting every free game
you
every
got.
month on the date. What day is that? The 7th? I will be
Yes.
there on the 7th.
Oh, the
Even
7th.
games I don't even play. I'm downloading
know
that
how
too.
many-
I got this island game now. I might have never played it, but I got it. It's free.
Bruh, you know how many games I got in my library that I ain't never touched from PlayStation, and I'm just like, but one of these days, I'm gonna get bored. I'm gonna install this shit and see what it do.
Right. One day I'm gonna install that island game where the sharks eat you if you don't hurry up and get there, and you gotta make little fans and stuff out of shark teeth. And
I'm
stuff.
telling
One
you,
day,
man.
I'm
And I
gonna try it.
And I see LRW without the S still. I'm gonna just let that hang for a minute. Without the S still over here co-signing, talking about I ain't lying. I ain't got no reason to lie. I am very, very honest about my 2K addiction. I am a degenerate 2K gamer. Okay, I will be there at midnight downloading that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have it download queued up so that come midnight, 11 p.m. my time, I'm gonna be right in there.
Right. All he has to do is check it.
That's it. And I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna be in there for the next. I'm gonna be there for 4 hours, customizing my player because it take about 2 hours for you to finally get your damn picture to upload. Let me tell you how bad it is for me real quick. So everybody know I just got this new gig, right? Shout out to the company and Bertha. Check us out. But we, especially if you need helps out there, you want to get connected, you need any type of social services, and Bertha got you covered. Please do that. Findhelp.org. There's your PSA for the night. So the end of, but no, like, so I have to get myself a company cell phone. Now, here's how sad this is. I hate Apple. I don't, but the company, they gave us MacBooks. So I'm like, oh, I got to deal with this Mac stuff. So then when I decided to get, I said I need to get a company line for my company phone. So I was trying to decide what kind of phone I wanted to get. I got an iPhone. Want to know why I got an iPhone? It's really sad.
I'm sure it is. It's an iPhone. But go ahead.
Because on 2K, it's easier to upload your face scan on iPhone than it is on Android. So I had to make sure that I had a phone that was capable of getting my player right. Because come September 22nd, it's going down. Okay? It's going down.
Man.
Don't judge me, man. Don't judge me.
I'm not. The closest thing that I got, I could say they got a 2K name on it that I like to play, but I don't buy every year. I buy every few years. And matter of fact, to the point where I buy it when the price goes down every few years, is the wrestling games. I will buy like a 2K.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
It's like 25. And the biggest reason why I do it, because like back in the day when they had it, I used to make all the Marvel, DC, and some anime characters, and then now you got a whole universe now, so you can put them up against each other and get your titles and stuff. I will put time into days into making personal titles, rings, all of that.
We finna divert the whole damn stream right now because you just gave me an idea. This is what we gonna do. What we need to do, you know what, Felicity? I don't need this from you right now. I don't need you out here calling out my addiction. I know what this is. I'm on my way to recovery. I have acknowledged I have a problem. Anyway, look, I got Mr. Ratcatcher trying to tell me, look, y'all talking, look, it ain't gonna happen, man. Y'all keep talking all you want to. I've been on this narcotic since 2K. What was it? 2K,
is it?
No, because because the first 2K came out on Dreamcast, and I didn't have on Dreamcast. I didn't have a Dreamcast yet. I remember. Okay. The first 2K I bought was NBA 2K2. I took the rest of my tuition money from college, went straight to EB Games, traded in my PS1, bought a PS2. I got Tekken Tag Tournament and NBA 2K2. From 2K2 all the way up to 2K2, it's 20 years deep in this game, man. They been getting my $60 for 20 years, bro. 20 years. You know what I could have done with six? What is six? Somebody give me some math. Do some quick math.
Worse than smoking.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Almost.
That's why I'd brother be hustling. That's why I don't be in the Discord. It takes money to make. I got too many habits. I got too many habits, bro. Like, and I got kids. Man. You know how hard it is to maintain this lifestyle? Shit ain't easy.
It's hard out here. It's hard out here for the Maynes. Totally hard out here for the Maynes, man.
Oh, Mayne. I'm trying to tell you,
they over hitting you with that Jordan. Stop. Get help.
Get help. Hey, man.
Oh, man.
What my girl say? What my girl Diana Ross say? If there's a cure for this, I don't want it. Right. I don't want it.
Oh man. But everybody stay away from Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
This is what started this whole thing. See what we ended up?
Yeah, they look.
You see what it did?
Look, I didn't even get my idea out. You still didn't even let me get my idea out, bro. You was talking about wrestling.
Please.
What we need to do, we need to get that WWE game. We need to make them characters, bro, and we need to live stream for the Patreons. A Marvel versus DC pay-per-view where we the commentary.
I got you.
We got to do that.
I already got you, man.
Let's do it. Like straight up.
If anything, all I got to do is make you as a character. I already got me. That's the first thing. That's the first character I make is myself.
Let's go.
And then I get everybody else. And now it's easy because you can download them, so you can look at a catalog of other people who already made them.
Matter of fact,
I got everybody, man.
We can do that. We can do a draft. We can actually do a live draft and just go through the downloads. Let the fans pick We get maybe 10 characters, put them in some kind of tournament, and we be the guest commentary for that shit, man. People
I'm down for that.
Look, let's do it. Hey, let me see some purple heart emojis in the chat if y'all be down for us to get on some WWE 2K and give y'all some guest commentary.
Yeah, man. I'm like, oh my God, Al.
Look,
it's a slobber knocker.
Well, somebody stop this. Stop this. This man's got a family.
You would have to be JR.
Oh, I'm gonna be JR all day, bro. And I'm gonna have to be the king. And I'm gonna have a sauce right next to me, bro. That suplex had sauce on it.
Right. That move was so dry, I got a sprinkle of sauce on it.
Oh, man. I see my homie, though. Ant Seals in the building. Bro, you got to let me know right now off top. Just give me a raw score. I know you just got out of seeing Shang-Chi, bro. 1 to 10. Let me know right now. If it's anything below an 8, I ain't going to the movies. So be very strategic with that number. I need to know, though, bro. Let me know. What was it, man? How'd it go?
Well, I guess as we wait, because I see a lot of some people came back and Cap came in, and there's someone else. Sorry, I don't remember at the moment. That came in and just seen it and said it was fire. So I guess before we get into our last little tidbit of Doctor Strange, I guess we could divert for a moment and talk about Shang-Chi for a moment. Shang-Chi.
Yes, most def.
So based off of some of these that are coming in right now, we got Vito with a 10. We got, of course, Mike Mother Porter.
Sir Glass. Hold on, wait. You know you can't do that. Cut the music.
Cut it.
Cut the damn music. You know what we got to do, man. Hold on.
Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Sir Glass Half Full himself, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Didn't give her back, cause he's just that nice. Mike Mother Porter, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Show your love.
Show the love. All the love.
There we go.
Right. I know we've done it right, but we're getting 10 pluses, man.
It's like that, bro. Like, pluses. See, that makes me nervous. That makes me nervous.
I mean, you know, even Mike, he said go to the theater tonight. Okay.
See,
he said even if they shut down, go find the reel, put it back in the damn projector, and go sit and watch it tonight.
Oh man, okay. Then that means I'm gonna have to go see Shang-Chi. Probably, if not tomorrow night, definitely on Saturday.
Right.
Definitely on Saturday. I mean, I had planned on going to see it anyway, but now, like, I'm locked in now. Like, if it's like that.
Yeah, that's almost like I gotta wake up and go.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
I wake up,
man. Look,
I gotta sleep in the parking lot now.
To go see this. You, man. They trying. It's like that. I'm in there, Mike. I'm in there, Ant. We gonna see what's up there, man.
I'm in there, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm in there with very, 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 very high skepticism. Still,
I feel that.
Still going there. It starts off as a 5 because the reviews. I ain't heard one bad review about this movie.
Right.
But I'm like you said, I'm a little nervous, and I'm wondering if people are really into that because this one might be one of the first movies they actually decided to go to the theaters and watch.
Yes, this is going to be my first one.
Right, you see what I'm saying?
This will be the first one back.
Now, if you come back talking like this, and I come back talking like it was at least an 8, but you saying it was 10 plus, I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little skeptical still and say it was probably because it's your first theater experience in a while.
Yes.
And it just made it that much better. Because I've seen some movies. I've seen some movies in the theaters that I've watched both home.
Well, I'm going to be stingy with my score. I'm going to let you know right now. Y'all might as well prepare to get mad at me because I'm going to be real stingy. Because I'm telling you, just like I do with my shows, I'm saving my 9s and 10s for when we get to No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. I don't think Shang-Chi is going to touch that. So I'm not giving that. It's going to earn a 9 or a 10 for me, bro. Right. It's going to earn that shit. So we going to see, man. But I look, Ant is also somebody who said that Suicide Squad was far and away better than the first one. And I thought he was crazy until I watched it. So
I like Suicide Squad. I was about to say, if he said it was the other way.
Hey, or did he wait a minute. Or did he say he liked it? No, he did. He said that the first one was better. He did say the first one was better. Nah.
I don't know if I trust him,
Can't
man.
agree with that.
I'm sorry, Ant.
See, so now
I
I'm
don't know you,
worried because he's saying it's a 10. I'm like, bruh, you said Suicide Squad, the first one was better. I don't know.
I don't know.
Now John
no
Johnson
idea.
says it gets a little slow at times, but overall I thought it was great. That's what's up. That's what I expect. I expect that there's gonna be some high points. I expect that there's gonna be points that kind of drag a little bit, but overall I expect to be satisfied with the movie. I just don't expect to be at no 9 or a 10 like what I've been seeing all all week from the early reviews, and then today especially. Like I'm like you, I haven't heard a bad thing about the movie, man. That's why we put the poll up. We want to know who's going, and you got 74% so far saying they gonna go check it out, man. So I don't know. We got to see.
I don't know. We shall see. We shall totally see. I'm locked in for this weekend. As soon as I know exactly when he'll be here is exactly when I'm gonna go and selfless plug. Get them AMC tickets. Using that membership. If you ain't got one, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I'm locked in. We're gonna see if it's as good as everyone is saying. I'm going in with at least a 5, and it will have to go up and or down from there for me.
Gotcha. That's what's up.
We shall see.
Hey, Mike say he going back tomorrow. Looks like that, Mike Porter. Okay.
Man.
Damn.
Yeah, he's over here pulling a camp here.
Right? Like, okay.
I think no, be camping outside. I bet you he's gonna be outside. Sir car hat full.
There you go.
Going back and watching Shang-Chi. We shall see. We shall see.
Heck yeah, man.
Y'all ain't really got to confirm it. But does Shang-Chi have any Doctor Strange connections? I heard it going back and forth. There's some connections to the past, and then there's some connections to some of the future properties. And from my homie here, I'm asking because apparently he feels Doctor Strange has some really big implications, especially after this What If episode 4.
First off, can we please get some scores in the chat for episode 4 What If? Because I'm curious to know how y'all felt about that episode.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
curious
I
too.
want to know, because before I even get into what I thought about this episode, I want to know what you, the peoples, think about it, man. What'd you think about the episode, man?
It was different. Out of the first 3 that you get that have some good positive endings, some definitive endings, this was the first one where you see that a character got so powerful enough to where he was even able to communicate and sense the watcher to where they have a conversation.
Right.
And you kind of do get to see what would have happened if Doctor Strange didn't put himself in a certain kind of check.
Yeah.
It's like he is actually Sorcerer Supreme. He is actually able to end the world or save it. And just seeing the fact that he was so tied, like his hands and his passion and everything, for himself kind of drove him to be the Sorcerer Supreme, that if it were almost any other kind of situation, he most likely would have went overboard about it because of his obsessiveness,
right? His
ability to obsess over doing something and make it perfect. And I was just really surprised that even from Marvel, or I'm not really surprised, but it's a turning trope in a lot of these shows to see the villain kind of win more.
Yeah.
Or see the person who used to be good, who became a villain, win more. So I was a little bit shocked, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here, y'all seen episode 4, so we ain't gotta pop up no spoilers. I know y'all most of y'all didn't watch it. If you ain't, get on Disney Plus and watch it, man.
Hey man,
like,
we just about 48 hours out, bro.
Right.
That moratorium is over here.
Right. Over here. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty dope though, watching him be able to be as powerful as he became by absorbing other dimensional creatures, other dimensional energies, to that point to where he even absorbed himself.
Right.
In the end, like I thought maybe the Good Strange would have at least talked some sense into him. I wasn't sure if he'd be able to beat him because, he went through, got all that energy. I almost felt like there's almost no way that the original would win with power. I figured that if he at least won him over, it would be by logic, putting sense into them, and that wasn't even enough to where. And I'm kind of curious. What I'm most curious is in the end of it, where you see his basically his universe, his world collapse in on and around him. What does that look like on the timeline?
Right.
Like where does that branch go? Does it go back to where essentially the big bang of things happen, where Sylvie stabs, the He Who Remains? Does it condense down to that? Does it stop where he is? Does it break off and now he's just in this pocket dimension? That's kind of what I'm curious to see, if they're gonna sometime later maybe tease what that looks like when a actual timeline universe is destroyed. That's very, very curious. But in the end, we know we're gonna wind up seeing more Dark Strange later. So I'm just curious to see, because this is the first episode where you actually see Uatu himself. It's like, hey, I could pop in and warn him. I should stop him, but I can't. I'm the watcher. Obviously, bad things come out of it. He doesn't let it play out. Blah blah blah. So I'm wondering, is it Uatu who's actually going to interfere and bring all these other characters together for some kind of grand purpose, or is it like a mission that he puts them on and the other characters got to go, and somehow, like, how do you reach that Doctor Strange? So
exactly.
I thought it was a good episode. I give it about an 8.
Interesting.
I give it about 8.
So for me, episode 2 is still my favorite. Still my favorite. But this episode is the best by far. And the reason I say that is because of everything you just mentioned. They went completely against the grain with this one. And it was like, watching this, I didn't really know how to feel.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, they're not even backing down. Like, we got to remember, this is Disney, y'all. This is the mouse. And they showed you almost an infinite number of times where she just died, bro. Like, there was no like changing none of that, bro. Like, I think the one that got me was when they was eating the pizza and my dude just walked in and was like, "Bow!" And I'm like, "Oh snap!" Like, they not playing, bro. Like, that to me, that's some hella storytelling right there, and that's building a lot, because it wasn't just the fact that Stephen Strange lost his, the love of his life, and that drove him to, the ultimate conclusion of the show. You've established the fact that this multiverse is interconnected, and that in some ways, we know that some of these characters are going to have the ability to step through those different multiverses and interact. And you just gave us an Omega level Doctor Strange with the ability to do just that. And we ain't supposed to expect that this dude is gonna find his way, to your point, out of that universe into another one.
Right.
Like, to me, the fact that the writers put so much emphasis on this episode to begin with, and then for this episode to turn out the way that it turned out, I think there are some real serious implications with this episode. And I think this is beyond just what if. I think, and this is a wild ass theory, Mayne, but I think there's a remote possibility that Strange that we saw might pop up somewhere else in the MCU soon. Like, maybe even Multiverse of Madness soon. Like, this dude could be a problem.
Most def.
Could be a serious problem. And it's going to be interesting to me to see how they tie it all together, because clearly they're setting up like this multiversal Avengers thing. And to your point, I think the watcher is going to have, at some point he's going to intervene. And I think that might be what ends up creating like this multiversal Avengers. But that still makes me wonder, where does Doc Strange, this Omega level Doc Strange, fit into that? Because where is he going to go? Like, if he finds his way out of that universe, or because effectively the universe was destroyed. So all it is him.
Right.
Like, it's just him. And it didn't say he was destroyed. So he exists somewhere just out in like maybe a void, or just self-contained in the energy that was left from him destroying that universe. But that's got to, he's going to end up somewhere. His story, we know, is not going to stop with him just being there. So my thing is, what is that implication? And if he is going to end up anywhere else, then that is going to cause ripple effects throughout the multiverse regardless. So when you think about that, And then you hear about like what they were talking about in this with Wanda being the potential villain in Doc Strange 2, and her fighting like one of the X-Men and shit. It's like, bro, they're already kind of setting up that this stuff is gonna get wild, bro. So like, how far-fetched is it to think that not just Doctor Strange, Omega Doctor Strange, but like some of these other characters, like we've been saying, are gonna pop up in live action soon?
Right.
Like it all seems like it's gonna go there, man. And the other thing I'll say about this episode is kudos to Disney and to Marvel for not watering this shit down like this episode, because they could have watered this episode down a whole lot more than they did, but they let, like, you felt it.
Yeah.
Like for something that didn't have a lot of blood and gore, that was some like traumatic shit. Like watching
you
this
actually
dude
felt
yes
the pain in that.
Yes, because it was like no matter what he did, it did not change. Like every iteration, it led to it, and you kind of figure you knew where it was going after the first couple of times.
Yeah,
but I did not expect them to just keep hammering it home like that. Like that was insane, man.
It gave me strong the Time Machine. You ever seen the Time Machine with Guy Pearce?
No, I have not.
Go watch that movie. Actually,
Okay.
that movie is actually really good, and I would even venture out to say it is very underrated. But if you watch that movie and compare it to What If, that whole little sequence where you watch her die over and over and over in all these different ways is exactly what they do in the Time Machine.
Okay.
Starts off, you see him. He's got the love of his life.
Mhm.
They're getting ready to go out. He's buying, trying to get her some propose and get her a ring and everything. And she dies. Something happens. The carriage gets loose, runs her over. She dies.
Mhm.
And he spends all his time making his time machine. He gets back in the time machine and successfully goes back. And no matter how many times my man goes back and goes different ways, tries different things, she dies all these different ways. And then he goes off and does the same exact thing that Doctor Strange does. Goes and winds up trying to go into the future to find a way to stop it.
Right.
Spoiler alert, never does. But the journey and everything in which where he winds up going and all that type of stuff, it's a good movie for even for something that's very scientific, it's down to earth. But for me, I feel like this level of Doctor Strange is a necessity. We have to have an Omega level hero, even though he seems like he's a villain right now. Obviously, he's very remorseful, seeing what without checking himself, becoming that powerful for a very selfish reason, obviously destroy the universe. So I'm pretty sure by the time whenever they pull him out of that, he's gonna be willing to do whatever he needed to do to make things right somewhere. And for what I have been researching and seeing in the trailers, you see this silhouette figure. It's got like a red face. It's got like horns or whatever. And we all speculate that might be Galactus. That ain't Galactus. I'm gonna speculate right now and say that is the end game version of Ultron with the Infinity Stones.
Okay.
And I think success and the reason why his face is red, because I think the What If episode on this is going to be what if Ultron actually did absorb or become Vision like he tried to be. And then that ends with him getting all the stones and possibly even ruling that universe. But of course, because he's so powerful with all those stones, and of course, we know it's supposed to, like, they're only supposed to work within their universe. But that doesn't mean that doesn't give him access to other powers now.
Right.
That allows him to cross over into other multiverses.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why Uatu needs to interfere, because now we have a warmonger that's even worse than Kang. Because he's not trying to just go clip these other multiverses. He's trying to find a way to unite and rule them. And of course, it has to be Kang. It has to be Daniel Richards. And that is the ultimate diversion to the multiversal timeline.
Gotcha.
As if Ultron was able to successfully take over it all. So I'm thinking we need this Omega level Doctor Strange and all these other kind-hearted and more powerful characters, because Ultron is a problem.
Right.
Ultimate problem. And that's, I think, where they're going.
I'll take it one further than that. I'll take it one further than that. I think this might be, and again, we don't know how they're going to end up getting the Secret Wars. We don't know how, whether they'll take, the Jonathan Hickman's, situation with the incursions and Doom and going that route. We still got a long way to go before we get there. But if you recall, who was the one person that was left with Doom at the end of Secret Wars? Or basically when all the universes were destroyed? It was Doom and who? Doctor
Avengers,
Strange.
That was Doctor Strange.
It was
you're right.
Doctor Strange.
Right.
Because
Just like
remember,
the sheriff.
because they were, because eventually Doom wiped Doctor Strange out because Doctor Strange was like, nah, bro, you getting a little out of pocket.
Right.
And he had to wipe. So my thing is, when you think about this and how this is set up and the level of power that he had, could they be stashing this Doctor Strange for later on down the line when they get to Secret Wars? Because
I feel like if they do, then that means that the MCU is going for a drastically different version than we're expecting.
Well, see, I already think that's exactly what's going to happen, though. I don't think Secret Wars is going to happen the way that any of us think yet, but I think it is going to adapt that in some respects that Jonathan Hickman run in terms of whether it's the incursions. I don't know if they'll go the incursion route, but I think something along the lines of that version, and it might not even be Doom. It may be Kang at the end of this one. That may be the way they set it up. But I think if they go that route, this would make sense to have kind of Doctor Strange in that piece to be kind of that counterbalance, if you will, or not necessarily counterbalance, but somebody who's on that, like close to that level to where he's still around after everything is like said and done.
Right.
Because he would be strong enough. The Doctor Strange that we saw in this episode would theoretically be strong enough or have enough power to ensure his survival at the end of like the multiverse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That.
And so
I agree with that.
I would and the reason it sticks out to me that way is because I feel like a lot of what they're doing right now is setting up these payoffs for later on. And I think this goes back to WandaVision and the whole Ralph Boner situation. This ties in my opinion, to Falcon and the Winter Soldier and what they set up at the end of that, with not just the Power Broker, but with the Dark Avengers and all of that stuff. I think all of what they're doing now is they are setting up these payoffs that at some point, whether it's once we get to No Way Home, whether it's once we get to Multiverse of Madness, like a lot of this shit's gonna start coming back and paying off, and it's gonna be like, oh, and that's when the dots are gonna start to connect. And so for me, like I'm looking at it, and every time I watch one of these episodes or any piece of MCU content currently, I'm like, okay, where do I see, like, what can I point out that I feel like is a setup? Like, where are they going with this? And that's one of the things that like just really stuck out to me, especially with them ultimately kind of bringing him to a place where at the end he realized he'd messed up. Now, had he just continued to be, power hungry and just want to, continue doing his thing, then I wouldn't think so. But the fact that they gave him right at the end of that turn lets me know that now they basically reestablished the fact that he has a conscience and that he realizes that he went too far. So now you got, he understands that. So he's got that motivation to want to kind of make shit right. So in what way is that going to happen? Because I feel like after seeing what we saw in that episode, we definitely haven't seen the last of that version of Strange. And that version of Strange is going to come back and have a significant impact at some point. I'm just torn right now on whether I feel like they'll do that as soon as Doctor Strange 2, or if it's something that they'll push off a little bit further.
Gotcha. We'll see here soon, because all those are right around each other. We get No Way Home,
man.
then we get Multiverse of Madness. So there's it could get paid off pretty soon. But for me, it's like still as powerful as Doctor Strange became. It still doesn't make him the most powerful.
No.
And I, like, even in the MCU and like, of course, in the whole comic lore, you got one above all. He's the most powerful. You trickle on down from there.
Right.
But the fact that the Ancient One was able to fragment him or split him, to me, is like the they already kind of established that Nexus beings are the most powerful at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm not sure if they're playing this into the lore or not, or if it's something different because it's the MCU. But the fact that she was able to actually split him, the two Nexus beings can't exist in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
So if this Doctor Strange is this powerful, but is not a Nexus being, but was still able to destroy the universe, that's kind of like my tear off a bit. It's
Okay.
like, so you mean to tell me that all the power he was able to get and absorb and all that types of stuff from the other dimensions, he was still able to destroy the universe? But what about whatever Nexus being that should have been able to, like Wanda? There should have been like if they had played it off a little bit. I know they try to keep it centric. They got 30 minutes, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel at some point, at least show him absorbing the Nexus being.
Yeah,
That maybe make a little more sense. But there's small little plot holes in there for me that just it's like, a Nexus being, whether they knew about it or not, would have been tipped off and alerted, and it wouldn't have just been Doctor Strange.
Did they establish that every universe has to have one though?
Yes, a Nexus being is important for every universe to exist. Yes, that is the premise of a Nexus being. They cannot leave their universe. If they want to actually connect and talk to other Nexus beings, they have to do it like Wanda does, or Doctor Strange himself, where they go into the astral plane.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot cross, and they are a focal point for each universe. So, I mean, unless they're trying to say he got as powerful as a Nexus being, but you know what I'm saying? There's just certain small little plot points that just doesn't make that collide for me.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. That could be like I would be willing to just write that off as plot hole that they didn't think about for the show, but there's also the possibility that like you spot on, and then that means there's something else we don't know,
right?
Like, or that we don't realize yet about that particular universe or that particular iteration of Strange or whatever the case may be. There could be some more payoff left there, but I just feel like when I look at this episode and when you look at everything, the context surrounding it, and how much emphasis the writers put on this episode, how far, again, and this is Disney. Now, if this was something on HBO Max or something like that, I wouldn't be wigging out like this. But when you watching Disney Plus and you watch somebody get killed 50, 11 times, you like, okay, they trying to drive a point home.
Yeah.
Like for them to go there. And so it's like, for me, when I look at that and I see kind of where this episode left off, like I can't help but feel like that particular iteration of Doctor Strange is more than important. Like he is going to be a linchpin in some kind of way at some point within this this whole plot or this the entire phase of the MCU right now. It's got to be, because unless, now I know they're gonna do multiple seasons of What If, so maybe he'll pay off in that. Maybe I'm thinking too big on it. It's just, I feel like just everything that's come out this week, I feel like, man, that's just not an accident, or that wasn't just a writer's choice. Like they did that. That's a white should called us and said, y'all need to make sure Strange is at this point by the time we get through with that arc. And it's like, okay, so for what reason though?
Right. I mean,
that's what we got to find out.
He could replace this Doctor Strange that we have now. He'd be levels and levels and levels ahead.
See, now you getting into the tinfoil conspiracy theory land that I was on, because I was like, well, wait a minute. Who's to say that this Doctor Strange don't make his way out the multiverse and replace the Doctor Strange we know?
Right.
How do we know that the Doctor Strange in Spider-Man No Way Home ain't the same Doctor Strange?
Right.
I mean, there were rumors that they battle each other at some point in the movie. Could be, true. Man. I'm just saying, like, I'm like, again, far-fetched, fanboy dreaming and all of that, but man, look, if that's where they go with this shit,
it is canon.
Woo!
It is canon.
That means we weren't ready. We did not know.
I don't think we're ready for a lot of stuff that's actually going to start coming out from the MCU.
Straight up. You ain't lying. this is so far, to be honest, way more than I expected. Like straight up. I figured they were gonna turn up. I kind of got a little bit discouraged after seeing WandaVision. Kind of got a little discouraged after seeing Falcon and the Winter Soldier. My faith was restored with Loki. But now that we're into like 4 episodes deep into What If, and you take a look at everything we've gotten so far and where we know shit is going, I'm like, bruh, it's getting, they turning up for real. Like, this was what we was saying we wanted, and they like, all right, we finna give it to you. Just gotta wait a little bit. Just gotta wait.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait.
And they're giving this, and believe it or not, they're still spoon feeding it to us because even in No Way Home, Doctor Strange himself is like, we know astonishingly very little about the multiverse, to the point where, to be completely honest, if Doctor Strange really wanted his girlfriend back, all he had to do was go to another multiverse, go swipe her, and go get another one, one that lives. But then, of course, that would cause many different paradoxes. The other Doctor Stranges out there.
Exactly.
So that'd be a good idea for another What If episode if they decide to just actually do what ifs that are not canon and want to keep the show going. That'd be the best way to do it.
100, man. 100.
Most definitely. But I'm thinking it's about time for us to get into that conversation
libation. Of course, man. You know what it is.
I think so.
What kind of questions y'all got?
Yes.
For the homies this evening, man.
Anything we touched on. We touched on Matrix 4. We touched on that bull version of Midnight Suns. What if? Anything else? No Way Home? Any speculations? Anything that maybe
2K
made you think 2K? No, we're not talking about 2K.
We can talk
Avengers.
about 2K. You cannot control the people. If the people want to talk 2K, we gonna talk 2K. You know what? That's it. Patreon only. 2K stream. Let's go.
Right. Darth Chaos hit me with the Titans, and I thought about it. I was gonna leave it alone, but no, man. You really want me to get into talking about Titans? I'll talk a little bit of it. I can't.
Well, I owe the people an update.
Yes,
I owe the people an update. Your boy is season 3 ready.
Yes.
I am season 3 ready. I told y'all I would be there. I am ready. Season 3. Let's get it.
So you the very beginning of season 3 is where you at now?
Yes, very beginning.
Okay.
I have not seen an episode of season 3 yet, but I'm ready to go. I'm gonna try to catch up over the weekend, man. Catch what are we? 4 or 5 episodes deep?
4 episodes.
Oh, I can do that. 2 episodes a night over the weekend. Episodes. I can be right back in it. Let's go.
Am I lying? I'm up to 5. I'm up to 5. Am I lying? I might be lying. It might be 5.
I'm gonna tell you this
because this last episode, I'm just not wanting to count because it was not one of the best.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Yet
should have listened to you. Season 1 was like, WTF? Why did we? What was this for? Like, okay, I get it, but no. Like, you set up shit that, like, you get into the second season and you're like, yeah, now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and just keep moving.
Right, exactly. Like, to me, it felt like season 1 was WB had just booted up that portion, that section, and they decided to make little TV shows like Doom Patrol, Titan, Harley Quinn, and now because they got HBO Max, they just decided to conglomerate all of it all together and put the money into it. But like I said, season 1 was the most unnecessary season out of Titans, period.
Well, I wouldn't say it was unnecessary, because if you're coming in blind and you don't know shit about Titans, it's a jump off point for the show. For the show itself.
Yeah, for the show itself.
But there's nothing really significant in that first season that like carries over into season 2 to a point where there's anything most shows from a continuity standpoint, there's implications in the first season that still matter 2-3 seasons in. This shit was kind of like, they was just like, can you forget that we did that first season and kind of focus on this?
Yes.
I was like, man, what's the deal?
Nothing.
And
they didn't have a comic run that they went with or nothing. They just threw it all together.
And the proof of that, all you got to do to find out if that's the truth or not is go to YouTube and go look up Titans season 1 recap. You won't find much. You won't find much. Nobody was talking about this show like that. I mean, there was a couple of people, man, but like that first season, it's just like, nah, man. And I got like halfway through it, And then I ain't gonna lie, I took the shortcut, but I was just like, bro,
Hey, I told you to.
Yes, I should have done
told
that
you to.
from the very beginning, because here I was thinking they were gonna give me some significant plot point to hang on to. They ain't give me shit. I was like, oh.
No. They tied it up in episode 1 of season 2.
Yep,
and
and
they gave you
said, let's
something completely new.
keep it moving.
Yep, they kept it moving. I thought it was a good tie-up and continuation, though. But man, this last episode, apparently, I almost always forget, with the homie T-Rev.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight we're going to watch episode 6 on the Discord. If you ain't on the Discord, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
What
If
he
you popping
said?
in and out, and you've not been to the main authority, check our description. We have links in the description.
Yes, we do.
So you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Yes.
But last episode 5, yes, Felicity, right off the gate, I said it was trash. Episode 5 to me was trash. It was a episode that was supposed to drive the narrative, kind of explain certain things, how they got to that point where they are.
Mm-hmm.
But for people, maybe you'll feel a little different, because I know you're familiar with the Titans,
Yeah.
but you're probably not like a sweaty of the
No,
Titans
not
like
even.
I am.
Nowhere near. Not even
So
swarmy.
for
I'm barely coming out of normie status.
right. So for you might be like, okay, and then you be like, it's not really trash. It explains blah blah blah. For me, knowing all the different iterations and how they go about the Titans,
Yeah.
it was just an unnecessary episode, and it was, to me, and at least they got it out of the way. I'll say at least they got it out of the way.
Mhm.
It was Agatha all along, all over again.
Oh shit, no.
Right.
Don't say that.
So I mean, and I think even for you, it'll be obvious. Well, like I said, the biggest difference is they didn't wait until the last 2 or 3 episodes to try to be like, it was Agatha. You know what I'm saying? They're getting it out of the way. I feel like this is like a mid-season type thing.
Okay.
And from forward, it'll make better sense. But it's like there were other things going on that they introduced in the story that they did a whole flashback thing in this one.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know or any more progression on that. So this episode will give you that.
Right.
But I gotta say, out of the entire Titans season so far, season 3, I am slowly starting to fall back and agree a little bit with some of the articles that are coming out and
Okay.
having their gripes about the show. And I will agree that it does not really fully deliver on the title name, on the title or the titular name, however you're supposed to say it.
Right.
It really doesn't deliver on it too much. You do get more of a Nightwing, Starfire head off
Okay.
than you do get a amalgamated team that
Right.
becomes Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
You finished season 2, so obviously you know that there's no more Donna Troy. She's done.
Mhm.
And the way that they even handled Donna Troy in season 2 didn't make much sense to me, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't have Raven yet,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm hoping she comes back later and has a purpose, but you don't get her yet. So it's like it's not exactly Titans. It's not exactly Titans without Raven. To be completely honest, you need Raven on the team. That
Right.
she's on the damn team. And they focus too much on the mentors of the Titans than they actually do the Titans themselves.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who watch me, like Felicity, and Darth and all, and Jared when he was here, they're playing my man Gar to the left. Beast Boy gets played to the left a little too much. He's like he's essentially the bitch of
Yeah.
this whole season so far.
Oh man.
Connor's dope, but he's underutilized, and they kind of downplay him too when you get to episode 3.
Mm.
I still can't tell you about episode 3.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get into that.
Oh
but
no.
man,
We'll get there. We gonna get there.
yes, we will get there. I'm pretty sure by the time you get to episode 3, you might even text me. You might even text me and be like, "Is this what you was shitting about?" I'm like, "Yes."
Okay.
And then you'll see why I'm like episode 5 is trash
Got you.
compared to what they gave us. You can be like, "Okay, it makes sense." But you'll get there. You'll get there in due time. But tonight we're doing episode 6. And
what's
hopefully it'll get better. We'll get more context on what's going on with Blackfire, Starfire, all the other characters. But I'm still in. It wasn't so bad to where I'm like, I'm not watching it no more. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Now I have watched shows that were that bad.
Oh
like
yeah.
Supergirl. but Flash. But
Mm.
you know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, I'm still gonna watch to see what they do with it. And hopefully it will be or I want it to be better than Doom Patrol. I heard Doom Patrol they're supposed to drop their 3rd season in September, later this month. I want to say it was 22nd, if I'm not wrong.
Somewhere in there, because somebody, shout out to my homie Cam, hit me up and dropped a trailer or something for Doom Patrol, keeping me on point. So yeah, man, I think it's coming out sometime next month.
Yeah, I believe it's coming out sometime, or actually the end of the month, toward the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I want this to end and still be better than Doom Patrol. I didn't finish Doom Patrol. I know some people are like really, really into it, kind of shills for it, but I don't know. It fell a little short for me. And like I said, I'll finish it up and get back into it. But I want Titans to end strong. It needs to finish strong.
Yeah.
For me. So,
that's what's up, man.
Shall see.
That's what shall see. We definitely shall see. Definitely.
Most definitely.
Shall see about that.
Runaways, I don't know too much about. Marvel Runaways lost me at episode 3. Dark Cast, Cloak and Dagger was horrible. Yeah, nobody ever watched that. Like, I don't even know why they started Cloak and Dagger with them being young, as they did. They put Cloak and Dagger on a CW level, for sure. Not good. Yeah, not good at all. What else I got, man? Before we get up out of here, we got G-Rev waiting.
Any other random news, events, questions people got for us before we dip up out of here?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know your boy got to go save Wakanda at some point too. I ain't saved Wakanda in a minute.
My God.
Hey, and I have no problem with saying this on air, but I totally play a little bit of that Pokemon Go solely for exercise. But
sure.
You'd be surprised though, because I work in gyms, and we have a gym out there in Indiana now that they're trying to get all their people who come in who actually play to like join up, so they can make the gym into an actual gym on the Pokemon Go app. So
what's up?
I thought that was going to be pretty good. Yes, Mike, we are going to go to the theaters.
Yes.
Oh, show.
Oh yeah, we definitely. All this hype, man. I'm going to see what all the hype is about. I ain't had me a big bucket of popcorn with some nacho cheese in almost 2 years, man. I'm about to be back up in there. I see Adam then popped in here, say he just saw Shang-Chi. Now, Adam, I need to know, man. Come on, let me know. Give me a score, bro. Give me a score. 1 to 10.
I'm gonna have to say he's probably gonna hit you with at least 8, 9, or 10 because he said his theater was packed.
Hey, I feel him on that, man. I thought it would be.
And I bet you he did not get cheese on his popcorn, Quentin.
Oh man, let me tell you something, T-Rev. You'd have thought bro, look, I'm always a snack supplementer, man. Like, I might not have the popcorn and nacho cheese, bro, but these Oreos, ice cream, and chocolate chip cookies. That's what I'm saying. I came to that realization on the side note today. I was like, my black ass gonna need to get up and find a hobby or something, because working from home, I don't have no reason to leave the couch.
This is true.
I gotta get up and get some movement going, man, because I can't put on no more LBs. This skeleton is packing enough already. Matter of fact, it could probably lose a few LBs and be all right. But yeah, man. Oh, he said, I don't do score. This dude.
Okay.
Man,
do a percentage then. We know you do percentages.
CGI water. Look at him. Old boy, the CGI. Man, get out of here. I'm too good for a score.
I bet the third act was great because that's when that part in the trailer where you see them out there in the tomb and the CGI water comes out and surrounds them.
That's it.
I bet you my man Adam was captivated. Ooh, 69%. See, I told you he does percentages.
Yeah. Real crude.
69.
Hey, if that's a legitimate 69, that sounds about where I would think it would be.
I almost feel like he's trying to say this movie is in itself.
Oh man, well then, if that's the case,
oh man, I would probably say yeah. So that would probably give it about a 7. If it's 69, that's about a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10.
No, absolutely not. all 69s are not legitimate and are not made equal. And I don't give a
They are
damn what
not.
they tell you. Don't fall for the okie doke, bruh. They
Don't do
ain't
it.
all the same, man.
No, apparently not. Apparently not.
No,
Well,
I
I mean-
done heard some stories.
Okay.
You about to ask me about 69s? No, we can't go there on camera.
No.
I was like, wait a minute, hold
Okay.
on. That's for the after show.
Cut the bull on that one. It's like- but no, okay. What I was gonna say was, if this movie is at least a 7 for both of us, what say you? Do we either do a video or go live and talk about our experience watching
Oh,
Shang-Chi?
well, I mean, I thought we was gonna do that anyway.
I mean, I thought so too, but the thing is, will we do it as soon as maybe Sunday?
I tell you what, if I come out of this movie and it's above a 8, then we streaming immediately.
Immediately? I'm down.
As soon as we find time that day, we gonna get on here. We gonna do an impromptu Shang-Chi review stream for the people.
I'm down. For you.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yes, sir.
We gonna be in the building long as I get at least an 8 out of it. Give me at least an 8 out of it.
Right.
But if you don't hear shit from us on the weekend, then you already know.
Yes. We will definitely.
But spoiler
Definitely
alert,
that.
you're gonna hear from us this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm pretty damn sure anyway.
Already.
But yeah,
But-
man.
I think might be time to say what we always say.
I think you might be right, sir.
Might be right. So,
Like we
Yeah.
always say.
yeah. You ain't got to go on.
But you got to get the hell
Hell
up out of
out of
here.
here. Sir.
Man,
Man.
this was a good one, man. This was a good
Yeah, it
one.
was. They're all good ones.
Yeah,
They
they're
just
all
get
good ones,
better.
but this one was especially good. I like the vibe tonight. The energy was cool. Energy
Yes, it
cool.
was. Very
Hey,
cool.
but
Very
really quick, before we dip out of here, real fast, we do want to say we surely appreciate all the support, all the Patreon love, everybody that reaches out active on the Discord, all that. Make sure you like and subscribe. We done made already a milestone. I checked today. We already at 577 viewing hours out of the 4K we need. Only thing we need to do is get these subscription numbers up, man. We got to hit that 1,000 mark. So tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell your hairdresser, tell your newspaper boy if you still got one of those.
Yes.
Holla
Yes.
at the Mayne Authority and come check out this dope ass content. We got a lot of stuff coming for y'all, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and give these people a spoiler alert, man. Marshals will be making their comeback next week
Yes, they will, man.
and might even have some new
Oh,
ones
sure.
for you. Just
Might
might
even
have
have
some
some-
new ones for you. Now y'all got to get the hell up out of here.
Right now. Go tell your friends about us.
Exactamundo.
And we'll catch you in the next episode.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
They want the commercials every day.
Don't
They
they?
really.
The Force will be with you, always.
Hey man, y'all sure y'all don't want to like burn one first, man?
Why did you say that name?
You hear about the cable?
What is thy bidding, my master?
Asgard.
Forever, forever, ever. Forever, forever, ever.